welcome to the show. Commiserations for going out. I want to jump to you first, Chris. A lot of people are saying Newcastle bottled it tonight. Is that how you feel about your team's performance?
Well, if you get into the term bottling, I guess that could be. But I think we use it more for bantering in colloquial. It's a colloquial term. But listen, Milan we're good today. You gotta give them the props. But I think we made a mistake on a major mistake today was leaving ourselves open. We did that with Tottenham Hotspur in the very beginning of the second half, and they killed us with the third goal. It happened again. Now, some people will say that we needed to attack and we needed to get the goal because obviously we had to win. But there's a lot of time left. You don't have to do that. I think the ultimate reason as to why we're out of the Champions League is because we're not experienced. The team is not experienced. Some of these guys have some sort of European experience, like Joe Linton and some others, but just the whole unit is not an experienced team. I don't know why Longstaff didn't play. Lewis Miley is a 17-year-old. I don't even know if he has to go to school tomorrow. So, you know what I'm saying? Like putting Longstaff, somebody that has some sort of experience would have been nice. Lascelles just didn't perform well at all. And I like the Callum Wilson add-on, but it just and it nothing to do with injuries, nothing to do with being tired, nothing to do with any of that whatsoever. But look, one thing to finish this take, I will say that at the end of the day, it is football, and this is the Champions League. You have to suffer before you can advance. Ask Manchester City. They suffered for 10 years before they just got one last year. All teams have to go through it, and you at the end of the day, you just have to get stronger.
I understand that, Steve. You kind of seem like you agree, and you do feel like Newcastle bottled it tonight. Oh, yeah. You weren't happy with that performance.
No, yeah, complete bottle job once again. Carbon copy of the Liverpool game in some aspects. In the Liverpool game, it was the Tonali sub off, and I think there was another one in there. Tonight, it was Trippier off. I think that might have been an injury concern. Dan Burn coming on, and Gordon off. Nonsense. Miguel Almiron, not good enough. Not good enough. He's a team player, but low quality in the final third. Decision-making, passing, all that stuff. Should have put Gordon on the right, but that's not why we lost. That's just things you can pick apart in look at it like that. But no, it just Milan turned it on the second half. In the first half, we were very good, but Tomori had the excellent clearance. I thought he was outstanding, by the way. Fikayo Tomori, outstanding performance. We didn't bury them. We didn't bury them. And that's the problem. We went 1-0 up. Excellent goal from Joe Ellington. And we just didn't. At halftime, I was like, yo, we got to get the second and we got to keep the pressure on. Milan grew into the game and they made a big risk. Stefano Pioli made a very big risk bringing off Giroud, bringing on Jovic and Samuel Chukwueze. And they kind of went with 4-2-4. They also brought on Pobega. I'm surprised they didn't bring on Benacer, but Pioli made subs. He's more experienced than Eddie Howe. I know Gio don't like Pioli at all. I get that, but tonight he did do his work. Pioli, and the experience showed. And we were just second best in the second half. Milan took their chances. We didn't. It's a bottle job, man. It's a bottle job. It is what it is. Eddie Howe has some stuff to learn from it because it is very similar to a Liverpool loss.
I have to say I was a little confused why Anthony Gordon was taken off and not
me too
Almiron in terms of the changes, because then you're also playing Isak out wide. Where would you not want him?
But the thing is, you put in Dan Burn, who is really one of the few players that I can remember lethal with the header. I mean, he is it's like you're shooting with your feet, and you take out Trippier out. You take Trippier out. He's the main dude that's gonna put the ball in his head. You see what I'm saying? Like it just didn't make sense, and I think that the inexperience is catching up on Eddie, and at the end of the day, you just have to suffer it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
No, I hear you on that. Gio's with us. Gio is a Milan fan. Well, congrats on making it into the. How do you feel about that? Because you won the game tonight. You're in the Europa League, so at least you're not out of Europe altogether. Did it feel like a win tonight, or are you still disappointed to be out of the Champions League?
Nah, disappointed, Terry. I mean, I think on the first night of the Champions League, I mean, me and you, we didn't go at Leao, but we just said that he ain't that top dog. And I've been telling everybody as a Milan fan, he not that top dog. He don't got that killer instinct. And look what happened. He had a 1v1 in the first game. And I don't know, he was doing the Macarena or salsa dancing or merengue, and then today, I mean, come on, bro. The bracket already was on the floor, and you miss it. It's just disappointing that either us, Newcastle or Milan, I think we deserve more to go than PSG. They got that stupid penalty, and it was
That is
like they
100%.
didn't really have to play the
Nah,
game.
I'm not
So,
sure.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Terry, I just want to say a big shout out to Tomori. I think since the Chelsea game, but I think that was mental. I think a lot of Premier League fans think that Tomori is Kaka, but he's not. Last two times we went farming. We farmed on Spurs,
Mhm.
and now we farmed on Newcastle. And I just need Tomori to get his respect and give him a game, Southgate, man, at the end of the day. And to be honest with you guys, I'm proud. The both teams today, Terry, we had mad injuries, and thank thank God for Magic Mike. But I'll
Yeah,
appreciate him.
what a save! What a save! What a save!
Yeah.
See a lot
That
of
save.
Premier League fans think that was Onana just because he got to the Champions League. Onana is good with his feet. Magic Mike he's just
Is it though?
he's just like everywhere. So Chelsea, 150 million, baby, you can have him because we're broke over here in the Serie A. All right. Thank you, Terry, for always having me on.
No worries, G.
And then hopefully it's Liverpool, Milan, Europa League
Ooh.
final, and let's do the trilogy, baby.
There we
Spicy.
go. Cheers, my friend. Do you know what's really interesting about Rafael Leao? He's a player that there's a lot of hype about. But every time I've seen him play, and I will admit that I don't watch him week in, week out, but I must have watched 10 to 15 Champions League games that he's been in. I watched every AC Milan game last season. I've watched at least 3 or 4 this year. I've seen a few Serie A games. I've never watched him and thought, I'd love to have him. There was a player that was on the pit field last night for PSV, Bakayoko. I watched him and was like, wow, there's a player there. One game, and straight away, wow, I can see something.
Yep.
But every time I watch Rafael Leao, I just think, if you took his speed away, he'd play in League One. I don't think there's any real good technical ability. There's good skills, but all the skills are very much, I'm going to do something, but my speed is going to enable me to beat the man. It isn't the trickery. I'm just not that impressed with him. He's just somebody that I look at and think.
Well, he's one of those guys that can actually really piss you off if he makes he'll be wide open and try to score on a nutmeg or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, do you know what it is? And look, maybe he'll get better. He's only young himself. He's just one of those. And everyone has players like this. That I remember when Haaland broke through. And I never thought he was technically the best player in the world, but I looked at him and said, wow, I think this kid who was at Salzburg at the time, I said, I think he's going to be amazing. And I would say 80% of people online said I was mad, but it turns out he was great. There's equally been other players that have broken through over the years who I thought, wow, I think this kid, I thought Adnan Januzaj was going to be a special player, having watched him through our academy, watched his debut season, and he faded out massively. So you get some right, you get some wrong. For me, I remember Man United fans buzzing about Chong. I was called a hater because I said I don't see him being that good, and he isn't. And it works in every single which way. Look, there's some you get right, there are some you get wrong. And Leao for me is just a player that every time, why are you hating? What are you talking about?
Oh my god!
I mean, for me, it's. Again, I'm not saying he's a crap player. I'm not saying he's a trash player.
You may as well have.
Yeah, may as well have done. I just don't get I've heard people say, like Man United fans say, let's drop £100 million on buying him. For me, I look at it and think, if you hate Rashford, you're going to hate this guy, like genuinely, because they're very similar. They're very similar in lots of parts. And I watch Rashford more and I've seen him have good moments and really good periods. And as I've already said, I don't watch Leao enough. To be fair, but every time I watch him, I go, I'm excited to see what he does. And I'm just find myself relatively unimpressed nearly every single time. Terry, but that's just me.
Terry, I'm in the Milan chat with what's it called? Giovanni and Milan fans. I watch him pretty much every week. he's been very inconsistent this season. He's had a few good games, but particular way to Roma, had a great finish where he used some real strength, power, had a great goal against Roma away. Other than that, there's a few performances here and there. It's inconsistent against Inter Milan in the derby when they lost 5-1 earlier this season. Anonymous, completely marked out of the game. So he's inconsistent. But he's a very good. He can be a very good player. I think maybe he just needs to be coached a little bit better, possibly. Maybe just simplify his game. But I do think he's a good player. But I see from your limited sample size why you think that.
Yeah,
Milan fans echo your sentiment in Champions.
It's just the way he gets hyped.
Yeah.
10 to 15 times I've watched him play. By the way, that's club wise. I've seen him play for Portugal 4 or 5 times as well. So only about 20 times in total. But I do feel if you watch a player 20 times, I'm just not moved. Again, I don't think he's trash. I don't think he's the worst player in the world. Nothing polarizing like that. I just don't think he's this £100 million player that everybody's telling me that he is. I do, I think you could find better in the market for him. There must be better than that because of again, he ain't that young. I just looked. He's going to be 25 this summer. Like you need more consistency at that age, but that's just me. That is just me personally. And let's go to some super chat.